right, Robin, you just passed the exam. How do you feel?
Amazing and relieved.
All right, cool. So how did you do, like, when you walked in? Like, did you take it at home? How did it go? Just walk us through the basic story of like how your exam went.
I took it at home, up in our office. It went well. I got on early, did everything that you said to do, get on early, make sure everything worked ahead of time.
Yep.
And it really worked out well. Had all my IDs ready the night prior, so I had nothing to stress about the day of.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, why were you getting your PMP? Like, what was the onus for you to get into this and do this thing?
Honestly, I've been a project manager or a program manager for so long, and it just seemed like something that I should naturally do just to give myself a little bit more credibility in the industry.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And before we got involved with like the accelerator stuff, had you done any studying previous to that? And if so, like, how'd it go? What'd you do, et cetera, et cetera?
I did a lot of studying prior. I'm in the middle of an MBA program. I even took a class on project management, and I thought this is going to help me pass. I'm going to do well. And honestly, everything I was doing, I couldn't move the score. Like, my practice tests were just abysmal. I was below 50%. I was getting nowhere. I must have read the PMBOK twice. Still wasn't getting anywhere.
And so obviously you got somewhere. So like, what helped you make, like, and then something happened. What happened? How did it do it? How'd you pull it together?
Well, then I found you. And it was like somebody flicked a switch. Honestly, the way I found you was through your podcast. I was driving somewhere one day and I thought, I need to keep studying for this. Let me see if maybe I can find a book on tape or a podcast. I saw that you had really good reviews. So I thought, well, I'll just listen. And it was like, the day was just transformative for me. I listened to you go over the PMBOK basically in 36 minutes. And it was like a light came on. I was like, oh, that makes sense now. Like, I just needed somebody to put it to me in layman's terms and explain to me why the PMBOK was laid out the way it was. And then it like kind of clicked.
That's awesome. And that's really cool. And so you got into the accelerator. It hadn't been that long. Like, how long have you been in the accelerator thing and with the coaches and stuff? Do you know the dates ish?
It was like 3 days.
All right. It's not so bad. Shit. I didn't realize it was that short. All right, cool. And so like, as you got in, like, how did you proceed through it? Cause that's a world record. I want to admit. And like, how did you go through it? How did you get the information into your head and build yourself up? What was your approach?
Honestly, I listened to your podcast for quite a while. And everything was starting to click. So by the time that I had sat down and watched the videos with the accelerator, it just cemented everything. It was like, it all came together. And I know I was going to pass. I just walked in and I was like, I have this, like, I get it.
That's pretty awesome. And so like, you have a certain perspective, you had the confidence that was built in there. Like, what do you think from like the traditional world that teaches out there and builds through? What are the big mistakes that are being made in the world as far as like teaching, developing people, stuff like this as it relates to PMP in your mind?
Honestly, I only took one other course. That was the course for the requirement.
Yeah.
And they basically just taught the PMBOK. It was like somebody just read the PMBOK out loud. So it doesn't really help you pass the test. It doesn't really even help you become a better project manager.
Either one.
I honestly needed somebody to explain to me in a more practical way, how does this apply? And once you understand, I guess, how it applies, it kind of all clicks.
That's pretty cool. And I like the fact that you're coming from a program manager perspective. Like, you're not green. This isn't your first project. Like, you've seen everything, and then you're managing from a big perspective, like
right,
organizational perspective. How do you feel like, so you said a little bit about how it comes together, how it's logical, how it relates. Like, a lot of people out there will say like, oh, the PMP is nothing like my normal life. It's just a check in the box and stuff like that. What response would you have to those people?
I actually disagree. I might have thought that had I just read the PMBOK, but I think taking a step back in the way that you explain it and the way that you make everything come together, it's made me a better program manager, and it's helped me help my project managers. So I would say that by understanding things in a more practical term, I mean, every project's going to be different. They're all tailored. but at least having that baseline information and understanding, kind of how everything fits together, I really think it helps.
That's cool. And so like you're building an organization, you're building projects, you're building project managers, and that you were in the same game. You just do it in. I think that like when I got into it, I was like, oh, I'm really trying to build project managers to support people like you, like so that they walk to you and they have the right mind where you can mold them
Right.
a little bit. Like when you're out there trying to build project managers, what kind of perspective are you trying to build into them? Like, talk to me a little bit more about that. Like, I didn't plan this question. I just am interested in it.
Well, honestly, just giving them a template or at least a flow, a process, flow of processes that they can follow so that when they get handed a project, they're not just like, oh, where do I start? Where do I begin? Giving them the tools that they need to really be the best project managers that they can be. And honestly, I would encourage them all to become PMPs and to seek you out, take your course. But if they don't, at least I can do what I can do on my part to make them the best project managers they can be.
That's awesome. Now, this is really cool in this conversation because like, yes, we got through the PMP with you. You did amazing. But what we're trying to do as well is say like you have so much knowledge, you're going great places already there. Like we're going to build this community. We already built the community, but we're going to try to extend it out to be like, hey, practitioner wise, like graduate wise, like let's have a little place where we can all touch base and say like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Maybe like I have openings at my company, or maybe like I'm in need of a job, or here's some cool stuff that I did, or I have a problem. Could somebody help? So we'll definitely tag you into that, and hopefully it provides value. Now, for people that are listening to this that are young project managers or new, like what are some mistakes that they can make early in their career as far as like the way they run projects or the way they interact with like the program managers and stuff like that, where they could really just not support them in their own career development? Is there anything that these people could do poorly that we could avoid?
I would say, especially when you're young in career, always ask questions and maybe seek knowledge. Nobody expects you to know everything right off the bat. They expect that you're going to ask questions. And I think that's how you learn. And I think even people that are more advanced in their careers, they think, oh, I already know all this stuff. Well, no, you still have something that you can learn as well.
Right.
So I think that's really the key, is to always try to improve yourself, always ask those questions.
That's awesome. That's really, really good advice. I mean, I know maybe it falls on deaf ears, but hopefully those people like slow themselves down, because it's like, it's always interesting after the fact. You're like, yeah, I should have done that. Like, but like if they to listen and say, maybe let's try it now, who knows? Maybe they'll serve the organization and themselves better. So that's cool. Wish I would have listened. And so, all right. So as we close out here, really, really appreciate the insights. Like when you look back, I mean, you're only for a couple of days. Were you able to go to like coaching calls and stuff or anything like that, or what?
No, I was like on just a real quick watch.
Boom, you hit it real. Yeah. So that's good. But like other people out there like you, super experienced, tactically need it for, to build up and to help out. And maybe they've done these other courses that you've been like, man, I'm just beating my head against the wall. Maybe I shouldn't do this thing. What would be your recommendation for those people, or what would you say to those people that want to get where you are, but just see the hump and don't know if it's worth jumping over?
I would say, if they're thinking about doing your program, to just do it. It works. And you're going to save so much time by just doing it. I mean, if I had found you in April, I could have had my summer back.
Jesus. Yeah, that would be nice. I'm sorry that they stole your summer from you. Like, that's a good tagline. PMP Bootcamp, stealing your life. And so, but it's reality. Like your time is valuable with family and job and just like mental health, like life. And like the quicker we can get it and the more we can actually learn from it, the better we are. So cool. Well, you're there. I really, really appreciate you jumping on this Sunday and sharing. And we will keep reaching out to you. And what's next for you? Like any big next challenge or accomplishment you're trying to pursue?
I'm going to try to finish out my MBA, and then we'll see after that. But I'm one of those people that always have something to learn. So I will continue to find something even after I'm done with that.
I can dig it. Well, keep us informed because, we track you along and get some satisfaction from that. So really, really appreciate it, Robin. Thank you very much. And we'll talk to you soon. See ya.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.